So.
Yo, what up, guys? Me, T. Britton.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
So, my love, we are doing a short video talking about social media consumption. Recently, I put another video on my Facebook page talking about social media consumption and if it's something that can be done in a way that's healthy and safe. And I wanted to have a short conversation with Tyler. Why are you smiling?
I'm not smiling.
You're smiling.
That's not a smile, it's a frown.
Anyway, I wanted to have a conversation with you, a short conversation, because you are, what's your official title now? Cybersecurity
Pro.
Cybersecurity.
Pro.
No.
Expert.
For real.
Consultant.
Cybersecurity consultant.
Risk consultant, yes.
As somebody who is in this field and who's done a lot of reading about it and who is somebody who is off social media, first of all, maybe you can just like share what technologies that you have and don't have in terms of social media, phone.
Okay. So I have a flip phone, and I don't have any social media except for LinkedIn, which that's a social media, I guess. I use Reddit. That's about it. Rarely use YouTube. I mean, every now and then, mostly for education. But you know, we all look at cat videos or baby videos or whatever it is you're looking at. But
News bloopers.
news bloopers, especially.
Yeah. When Facebook was a thing, why didn't you get it? Because you've never had a Facebook.
Well, I mean, initially it's sort of just the middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm kind of iconoclastic, so sort of like, okay, you guys all want to use Facebook, middle finger, but that's not really something you can stand by for so long. So, as companies like Facebook or Google have grown to become what they are today, my reasons for not using them have radically changed.
Obviously, now you have a lot of reasons why you're not going to be joining Facebook. And so maybe you can summarize like your top three.
Well, it's not
for
just
the sake of time.
It's not just Facebook. Around
Yeah.
the time that I switched back over to a flip phone, upgraded to a flip phone.
Because you had a smartphone at one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But you downgraded or upgraded.
Yeah, to a flip phone. Around the same time, I got rid of Google in all forms. It was so hard to get rid of that I had to wipe my computer. And
Why
so why don't I use these?
Why
things?
don't you use these things? And for somebody, like, speak to somebody who really is just, and this might or might not be you who's watching,
Yeah.
but like for just your average Joe who uses Facebook to connect socially and doesn't think that it's harmful other than the occasional ad that they see that seems a little bit creepy to them, I think you need to share like what you know that is influencing you to stay far away from Google.
Or Facebook.
Or Facebook.
Which includes Instagram.
Right, Instagram too.
I mean, that's hard to answer because it's a very large question.
See if you can come up with just like either like something simple or just like a few reasons, because I know it's a huge umbrella.
I think, I guess to break it into several parts, one, the detail of surveillance is so creepy. I envision it like, well, legally corporations are a person, and so what does the Google or the Facebook person look like? It's the person who hangs out in my bedroom, watching me sleep, watching everybody I talk to, watching us. Yeah, exactly.
You better not cry.
Yeah, it's the creepy version of Santa.
Yeah.
So, I mean, personally, it's creepy. Also, philosophically, the practices that they employ and the reasons that a company like Google or Facebook do what they do, which is to capture as much and as detailed information about what you do and what you think about and your patterns, when and why you do things. Philosophically, that is wrong. If you've read 1984 or any dystopian novel, everything that a company like Facebook or Google seems to do sort of exemplifies sort of any dystopian novel that
Yeah.
you've ever read.
We've talked about scenarios where you like Google something or you look something up and how it traces you and what information it knows
yeah.
and why that's dangerous.
Well, the thing that probably is immediately creepy to people, but it's easy to dismiss because, oh well, I'm having a new baby and I'm searching for baby clothes, or my children go to a Waldorf school, so I search for natural toys, and so I'm seeing lots of baby clothes pop up in my searches or the websites that I visit, whatever it is.
That's clearly creepy.
It's creepy, but it's easy to ignore.
Right.
Right.
It makes sense.
Sure, it's a creep factor, but at least those are things that are easy to ignore. But when you get into deeper questions like, well, when you have a legitimate question, we don't ask our grandparents anymore, we ask Google. Let's say you have a strange bump on you. Let's say you're not sure who to vote, who you should vote for, or anything. Let's say you're searching for somebody. You want to find out information about somebody you're going to go on a date with. Anything you could possibly search for, which is almost everything. You are trusting that a company is having an unbiased view. A private company is having an unbiased view about what information they present to you. But we know that that actually isn't how the technology of a company like Google works. They're not trying to show what is in their estimation is the most objective or the most neutral or reasonable viewpoint. They're showing you something that they think you are most likely to respond to and agree with and will keep you on their platform. That's true for Facebook, that's true for Google.
Given all of that, I think the main question that I'm getting at that I asked previously is, do you think it's possible, given the state of Google and Facebook and what the internet has come to, and how much Google and Facebook know about us, do you think it's possible to use it as a tool? Do you think that social media and using Google can be used in a modified way so that it can be helpful, or is it just inherently a hindrance?
You can use it as a tool. I hope it doesn't. I don't really see people doing that for the most part now. Hopefully you can do that, but you also have to realize that these companies their business model is predicated on the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's on trying to figure out ways to constantly keep you in their environment.
In ways that are so much more sophisticated than we can imagine.
Than you could possibly imagine.
Given that a lot of people find social media really helpful, obviously the most common answer is that I need it for social reasons, I connect with old friends, I organize business reasons, I organize events, things like that. Maybe you can share, given that most people will be using these platforms. We were talking about yesterday, like a few things that we can do, being aware now, to at least make it so that it's a little bit more difficult for Facebook and Google to track us to the degree that they do. Now, what are the action-related steps that we can do to actually reduce our track records?
You have to first feel that it is more important to go out of your way a little bit to use other services than to use these services.
Yeah.
You have
to be conscious about it.
Yeah. If you don't think it's more important to use Proton Mail as your email provider,
which is what Tyler uses.
Which is what I use. So that's why it's my example. If you don't feel that it's more important to do that, if you're fine with a company like Google reading all of every email that you ever send and using that information to advertise to you and to profile to you. If you really just don't care, then okay, so be it. But the first thing you have to do is accept that if this is a concern of yours and you want to fight against this and regain a little bit of your own privacy and dignity online, that it's not convenient. There's no,
Right.
that's just the way that it is.
So
It's not
accept
convenient.
that it's not going to be convenient. Change Gmail to ProtonMail. Step 1.
That would be first. On par with that, get rid of the Facebook and Instagram app. Instagram is Facebook; it's the same company. Get rid of those apps off of your phone.
And in one sentence or two, why should we get rid of those apps?
Because when you access Facebook or Instagram from a browser, the amount of information they can gather from you is way more limited than if you actually install those applications on your phone and give them direct access to the physical device of your phone itself, which includes what other apps do you have downloaded, what are your settings, who do you text, who do you call, what pictures do you take, blah blah blah. But still, it's all contained within a browser, so
Okay.
those companies don't have direct access to your actual device and everything that you do there.
Okay, so change your email, delete your apps,
Yeah.
and then what about scrolling?
Yeah, so scrolling was just an example of limiting the amount of interaction that you actually have with these applications. It's hard to escape watching cat videos or figuring out how to install a new piece of drywall in your house or whatever video you're looking at. There's no denying that as far as an education platform, Google is, it's
The best.
I'm sure it saved you guys headaches. Limiting the amount of scrolling you do on Facebook, for example, because when you scroll on Facebook, the kinds of things that a company like Facebook will do when you're scrolling, or if you're visiting a website that has Google Analytics and you're not using an ad blocker, it's not just what things do you click on. It's way more complex and sophisticated
They
than that.
study your behavior as
Your
you're
behavior.
scrolling.
How long do you look at something? What are you flipping through? When you click on something, what is your behavior afterwards? What behavior potentially predicted you are clicking on something? So really the rabbit hole goes as deep as you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
And so to me, the only way around that is to limit your use, because if you're
So be single track minded, perhaps,
Yeah,
when you're
yeah.
looking for something, and don't get sucked into the endless scrolling and the rabbit holes that lie intrinsically in these sites.
Yeah, and so to pivot off of that, not using Google search, again, it's sort of a pain in the ass because it is by far the best search engine. I would use DuckDuckGo. That's the largest
DuckDuckGo.
privacy-centric engine. You've probably heard of it.
And I think just in summary, just to end this is so much just about knowledge and being aware. And once you are aware, being very focused on how you will spend your time and what actions that you'll take to actually address this in a real way and not just to mindlessly consume. That's my goal, and that's my conversation throughout this whole thing is now that we know this, at least we have some sort of an understanding of what we're getting ourselves into by being consumers. How am I going to do this so that I can respect my own privacy, so that I am not a slave to these companies that don't have my best interest at heart, probably, That's just kind of what it comes down to for me, is
That's just, hopefully it would be the same that you live your life otherwise, which is being aware and intentional about each action that you take.
Yeah.
And it's a lot harder to do that online than in other things.
Because of the way it's structured to completely suck you in.
Yeah.
Thank you, sweetie, for talking about this.